Cure for cough. The owner of a drugstore arrives at work to find a man leaning heavily against a wall. The owner goes inside and asks his clerk what's up. He wanted something for his cough, but I couldn't find the cough syrup, the clerk explains. So I gave him a laxative and told him to take it all at once. Laxatives won't cure a cough, you idiot, the owner shouts angrily. Sure it will, the clerk says, pointing at the man leaning on the wall. Look at him. He's afraid to cough. X marks the spot. On a hot summer day in Florida, two dumb retirees decided to rent a boat and went fishing in the ocean for their favorite sport. After fishing for a few hours at various places around the ocean with no luck at all, they decided to try one more spot before calling it a day. Suddenly, their luck began to turn around, and the two caught enough fish to fill their boat within half an hour. One guy couldn't contain his excitement and says, "Hey, we should mark this spot, so next time we'll know where to go." And the other guy agrees enthusiastically. "Great idea," he says, and takes out a can of spray paint and draws a large X on the floor of the boat. The guy looks down at the mark and says, "Why did you do that? Now anyone who rents this boat will know where to fish." Farting all the time. Doctor says, "What seems to be the problem?" Patient says, "Doc, I've got the farts. I fart all the time. My farts do not stink and you can't hear them. It's just that I fart all the time. Look, we've been talking here for about 10 minutes and I've farted 5 times. You didn't hear them and you don't smell them, do you?" Says the doctor. He picks up his pad and writes out a prescription. The patient is thrilled. "Great, Doc. This prescription, will it really clear up my farts?" "No," sighs the doctor. "The prescription is to clear your sinuses. Next week I want you back here for a hearing test." Interview at Heaven. Recently, a farmer, a rock singer, and a pastor wound up together at the pearly gates. St. Peter informed them that in order to get into heaven, they would each have to answer one question. St. Peter addressed the farmer and asked, "What was the name of the ship that crashed in the iceberg? They'd made a movie about it." And the farmer answered quickly, "That would be the Titanic." And St. Peter let him through the gate. St. Peter turned to the rock singer and, figuring heaven didn't really need all the noise that this guy would make, decided to make the question a little harder. How many people died on the ship? Fortunately for him, the singer had just seen the movie. 1,234, he answered. "That's right. You may enter." St. Peter then turned his attention to the pastor. "Name them." Business ethics. A father is explaining ethics to his son, who is about to go into business. Suppose a woman comes in and orders $100 worth of material. You wrap it up and you give it to her. She pays you with a $100 bill. But as she goes out the door, you realize she's given you 2 $100 bills. Now here's where the ethics come in. Should you or should you not tell your partner? A blonde on a murder case. The local sheriff was looking for a deputy, so a blonde went in to try out for the job. "Okay," the sheriff drawled. "What is 1 and 1?" "11," she replied. The sheriff thought to himself, "That's not what I meant, but she's right. What 2 days of the week start with the letter T?" "Today and tomorrow." He was again surprised that the blonde supplied a correct answer that he had never thought of himself. "Now, listen carefully. Who killed Abraham Lincoln?" The blonde looked a little surprised herself, then thought really hard for a minute and finally admitted, "I don't know." "Well, why don't you go home and work on that one for a while?" So the blonde wandered over to the beauty parlor where her pals were waiting to hear the results of the interview. The blonde was exultant. "It went great! First day on the job, and I'm already working on a murder case."